Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary. Today on One, NTTU President reduces taxi fares for students and the elderly. Namibian graduates urged to publish books. 450 truckers and 783 sex workers test positive for HIV. And Namibia celebrates Olympics Day.
The Namibia Transport and Taxi Union NTTU President Werner January has called upon his members to reduce the taxi fare for students and the elderly. The taxi union signed an agreement with the Student Union of Namibia SUN to reduce the taxi fare until the end of the COVID-19 period.
I am saying, listen to me very carefully now. I speak on behalf of NTTU. I'm the president of the Namibia Transport and Taxi Union. This is an agreement that has been entered into on behalf of my members together with the students. This is an agreement entered into. And I, of course, as a leader, I'm not a dictator like some of your presidents here. I'm not a dictator. Hence, I'm making a plea to my members to please honor the agreement that we are having here with the students of the Republic of Namibia. We are a responsible trade union, and we are expecting all our members to be responsible and to think about the future of the country and not to be selfish at all. And for your information, in my union, we are not talking about other unions. I always emphasize on the matter of discipline. You know, when we emphasize on discipline and when the leader is saying we are going to do this, it's done. Because there is discipline in the organization.
Namibia Transport and Taxi Union NTTU President Werner January said that they don't need permission from the Road Transportation Board and the Line Ministry to give a discount.
I am saying that the Road Transportation Board, it only comes when there is a fare increment. After whatever we do after the increment, it's none of their business. Whether we choose to give discount, it is not their business. It is. No, I get your question. I'm answering you indirectly. No, whether we consulted or not is irrelevant. At this stage, is totally irrelevant. We are making a plea to our members to be accommodative to the students, to the future leaders of this country. And that's why, when we are saying that we make this plea, we did not only stop here. We are CCing this statement to the minister in order for all stakeholders to be reached. But as far as the union concerned, I only have obligation towards my members, those members that belong to my union. And that has been communicated to my members. Then if other stakeholders have an issue with this agreement, then we take it up at the ministerial level. And the Road Transportation Board is but just a stakeholder, just like us. They are not above any other person in the industry. But so far, this is what has been agreed to, and most of my members has agreed already to do this. All learners from grade 0 to 12 during school working days and working hours only, we must underline only, provided that they are heading to school in school uniform as from first Monday the 1st of July 2020. On a normal distance, all learners will pay $10 instead of $14. And on a double distance, they will pay $24 instead of $28. As from Monday, the 1st of July, on a normal distance, all senior citizens will have to pay $10 instead of $14. And on a double distance, they will pay $24 instead of $28. On a triple distance, they will pay $32 instead of $42.
The Student Union of Namibia SUN Secretary General Bernard Kavau and other student leaders from various institutions said that the working class did not complain about the increase in alcohol prices during the lockdown, which proves to them that they will be able to afford the current taxi fare.
During the lockdown, we know alcohol was prohibited and there were higher prices on sale of alcohol illegally. There were people arrested, and some of these are bar owners, and some of these are ordinary citizens. We as union, we did not get any report stating that student ABCD or so has been caught utilizing the alcohol. In fact, some of the students who utilize alcohol were the one even complaining that the lockdown must be eased because they could not afford the liquor.
That senior citizens and students are given a decrease on that price. We believe that all capable Namibian citizens will afford the 40 Namibian dollars. Hence, we have witnessed citizens not complaining about brutal increase on alcohol beverages and many non-basic needs.
But because of the dire conditions imposed on students and senior citizens by COVID-19, they have agreed to, sympathize with students and to stand by our future leaders to be able to empower them to the best they can to accommodate them.
We have witnessed the rise of robbery happening inside taxis. We untreated to, as discussed with Union of President for All Taxi Drivers of Namibia, we call for all taxi drivers to be sympathetic with students and senior citizens. We call for all taxi vehicles to have visible members for easy identification.
The taxi price discount will start on the 1st of July 2020, and school children should be dressed in full school uniform, and the students should use their student cards, whereas the elderly will be requested to present their identification card.
Every time you swipe your Countdown loyalty card at OK, you get another reason to celebrate. Cashback, bonus savings, plus automatic entry to win your share of 250,000 cashback when you buy any participating product in the OK Countdown Cashback competition. These great deals are also worth celebrating, and you'll find even more in store. Save, swipe, and win with OK. Owners you can count on.
Political analyst and author Jose Rirako has called on Namibian academics to foster a strong culture of writing and publishing books about their history and culture. He also called for institutions of higher learning to publicly avail the vast body of research that is annually published by graduates for their degree programs. The late Nigerian novelist Chinua Achebe once said during an interview with the Paris Review in 1994, there is that great proverb that until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Jose Rirako, who is one of the only 4 Namibian authors published among the hundreds of international authors on the bookshelves of exclusive books, urged Namibians to inculcate a culture of writing to correct the misconstrued narrative of their history and culture, which is often narrated from a Eurocentric perspective.
I have seen in the neighboring South Africa, many academics are now writing, and they have written even before independence or even the liberation struggle there. In Namibia here, there you see now some people are putting their memoirs in their books. They start writing, but it's very few. I mean, I went through these books, and I was told they're about only 4 Namibian writers who have their books here, and some of them are in fictional. Some of them are not necessarily depicting the history of this country, where we come from, where we are going as a people, where we are as a nation. And I think this is what calls for every Namibian. It becomes a duty and obligation for us to fill this gap, to bridge this gap, and to answer this yearning call for Namibians to write things for themselves. Because history is history if it is written by the people themselves. It becomes his story because it is written by somebody else who believe it was like that. I have seen issues written about the Himbas, for instance, here, that has been completely taken out of context. About their culture, about their sexual orientation and so on, completely taken out of context. So you have these people who are coming here to write, but they come with their preconceived notions as how Africa are, or how Africa should be, or how Africa is in their eyes. And remember, whatever picture in mind that they have developed, it has been coming on for years. It has been built on, years of bigotries, years of racism, years of separation, many things that have, built that picture that they have. Now, when the story is written by the person himself who made the history, who was there when history was made, who was affected by that history, or who is benefiting from that history, then the narratives change.
According to Riruako, in his latest book titled 2019 Elections Were the Most Polarized and Challenging Since Independence, he analyzes the changing political landscape in Namibia and describes the numerous challenges faced by SWAPO during its 30 years of power as the official ruling party.
SWAPO for too long have been in a comfort zone of saying that we brought you independence, right? That is the political of ideology. Now, the youth are changing the politics, in a politics, the political culture in Namibia, to say that yes, you brought us independence. That is the ideology. That is the past, right? But we are now moving to an issue-oriented politics. What do you have for me now? I need a scholarship. The economy is going bad. I'm not getting employed. I'm roaming the street with qualification. What do you offer me now as a party after 30 years? Now, and then you have seen also the advent of the social media, where the youth are now moving, almost having their own platform. Gone are the days when the party used to depend on the public rallies and, to take their message and, across. The students and the youth and so on, they are now on the social media. So this has changed the landscape. Remember, one of the candidates who did, exceptionally well from opposing the ruling party, which was Dr. Itula, taking about 29%, close to about 30% of the votes for the presidential election. His message has something to resonate with what I'm talking about, because he said, okay, residentially, you vote for me, but in terms of parliament, you vote for any other political parties. These are the floating votes that I'm talking about. These are the protest votes that I'm talking about. So some of these the smaller political parties and some of these old traditional parties, I don't think they would have survived the onslaught had it not been for some of these votes that came their way. And then the other thing, it's the parties, the ruling party itself, the challenges within the party, the slow pace at adapting and changing with time. It's also costing the party, a lot of votes. And then the other thing that we discussed in the book, for instance, is the legal challenge. Now, the fact that political parties can take any party, for that matter, whether it is ruling or opposition, to task. It tests the judiciary. Is the judiciary independent? Do we have clear-cut division of, separation of power? And in this case, it was clear evident, it was shown beyond the preponderance of evidence that the judiciary can stand on its own leg. The case, in my opinion, and that was part of my analysis, was ruled basically and solely on credence and on merit.
According to the UNESCO Institute of Statistics, in 2018, Namibia's literacy rate for youth between 15 to 24 years of age stood at 95%. The literacy rate for Namibian women in the same age group stood at 96% compared to men who scored 94%.
Always love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments, and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
Between April 2015 and May 2020, over 8,700 long-distance truckers and 15,474 sex workers were tested for HIV at 4 Wolfish Bay Corridor Group Wellness clinics across the country. Within that same period, 450 truckers and 783 sex workers tested positive for HIV. Due to early detection, 72% of the long-distance truck drivers and 52% of the sex workers who tested positive for HIV have their viral load suppressed due to antiretroviral therapy. The project manager at the Wolfish Bay Corridor Group Wellness Service, Edward Shivute, said even though the sample of the truckers represent a small population of the trucking industry across SADC, without the involvement of the Wolfish Bay Corridor Group, these truckers would have difficulties accessing healthcare facilities given the nature of their work. With Namibia rated as an upper middle income country by the World Bank, it is becoming difficult for organizations such as the Walfish Bay Corridor Group to secure development funding, which poses an immediate threat to their human capital in terms of supporting health and wellness, said Shivute. Engen Namibia partnered with the Walfish Bay Corridor Group and availed an amount of 100,000 Namibia dollars, which will fuel the group's mobile clinics.
You will agree that good driver health has a massive impact on the lives of drivers and their families in terms of reduced exposure to the disease. Mobile and roadside wellness clinic make a real difference in society as we continue to fight to reduce the impact of treatable conditions, as well as, in these unprecedented times, ongoing screening to curb the spread of COVID-19. I am thus pleased to announce Engen's contribution of 100,000 Namibian dollar to the Walfish Bay Corridor Group Wellness Services to fuel their mobile clinics.
Engen Namibia's donation comes at a time when the country is facing a pandemic, says the Chief Executive Officer of the Walfish Bay Corridor Group, Mbapu Chivikwa. 6 wellness container clinics are currently operational across the country, with 4 complementary mobile clinics stationed at temporary truck ports. The 4 mobile clinics serve as screening and testing facilities for COVID-19.
This sponsorship by Engen is not a cure or a treatment for COVID-19, but an effort to mitigate the impact and contain further spread of COVID-19. Indications are at the moment that until a vaccine or treatment
Welcome to Sport Africa. The BBC's new weekly show will explore the big sporting issues and questions, like why Africans aren't winning medals in the pool.
I just think it's their mindset.
Meeting established and rising stars.
I could be the Nigerian first Grand Slam winner.
And at the heart of it will be you, the fans, with your passion, your opinions, your stories, and even tests of your sporting knowledge. Go beyond the game with BBC Sport Africa.
The International Olympics Committee has made a number of digital activities available to celebrate Olympism, connect athletes with their fans from all around the world, and invite them to be active on Olympic Day, which is celebrated on the 23rd of June.
Shoulders, knees, head, shoulders, go!
The Namibian National Olympic Committee NNOC, in partnership with the Basketball Artist School BAS, hosted a live Olympic Day workout session at the Katutura Youth Complex to celebrate Olympics Day 2020. This live session featured 25-minute full body workout with 50 participants from the BAS Feeding Scheme project, who were joined by some Namibian elite athletes like the Namibian Golden Girl Helalia Johannes.
Throughout the whole world, 206 nations are commemorating this day. There is active 24-hour physical exercise going around the clock, and where all the countries, all the Olympians who qualified for the 2020 Olympic Games will be doing physical exercises through the digital medium. It will be on Facebook, it will be all over. So Namibia is not excluded. Apart from that, we are appealing to all the Namibians and all the people across Africa to kind of get up, spend 10 minutes, just do physical exercise. Whether you walk around the block with your family, whether you do push-ups, you play football, handball, whatever, but let's get physical. That's what we are calling upon the Namibians. And let's support our athletes, the athletes who qualified for the Olympic Games and those who are preparing to qualify for Olympic Games. They depend on our support and so on. Now that we are moving to stage 4, we will be seeing that a large number of non-contact sports will start, and then also a limited number of contact sports basically also will start preparations and all that stuff. So we are getting back to track, and we hope that we continue supporting our athletes, and the athletes are working very hard.
The day was celebrated under the theme, Stay Strong, Stay Active, and Stay Healthy.
Every year on Olympic Day, we remember the revival of the Olympic Games. It is a day to celebrate the Olympic values of excellence, friendship and respect. But first and foremost, Olympic Day is about sport and the joy it brings to all of us. Celebrating Olympic Day during this year of the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 gives all of us even more reason to remind ourselves that sport is always about bringing people together in peaceful competition. The Olympic Games are always a celebration of unity and diversity of all humankind. Olympic Day reminds us of this unifying power of sport. In this Olympic year, the message resonates more powerfully than ever. By joining this Olympic Day celebration, you are also playing an important part to spread the Olympic spirit across the entire world.
Due to the recent outbreak of the COVID-19, the International Olympics Committee recently announced that the Olympic Games have been postponed to the summer of 2021.
Head, shoulders, toes, knees, head, toe.
Share with us on #LearnOn1. Tell us what you're learning and where you're learning it from. Send us your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better. In other leading stories, the United Nations Namibia launched a policy brief titled COVID-19, an emerging development challenge but opportunity for the Sustainable Development Goals in Namibia. The policy brief positions economic transformation in the context of COVID-19 and analyzes how Namibia is currently faring through a socio-economic impact assessment in order to generate short, medium and long-term recommendations in addressing COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic has showcased the interconnected nature of socio-economic challenges and recalled the need for integrated responses as was envisioned by the Agenda 2030 of the Sustainable Development Goals. For Namibia, this can mean strengthened commitment to diversifying sources of revenue. It also means enhancing economic diversification through beneficiation, natural resources value chain, alongside the range of complementary policies, including human capital development and economic governance. The UN system has established a framework for the immediate socio-economic response to COVID-19 and provide policy options in the short-term, medium-term and long-term measures along 5 pillars, which are health first, protecting people, economic response and recovery, macroeconomic response and multilateral collaboration, as well as social cohesion and community resilience.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. Commander-in-Chief Julia Gavanas has been accused by community members living in Satan's Lodge on the outskirts of Etomuise behind Dunfermline for dishing out cattle posts to the elite without the permission of the city of Windhoek. Michael said the selling of land will deprive future generations of property on which to live. Captain said it is a right of the chief to undertake such dealings. Ernestus said the farm needs a name change from Satan's Lodge to Grace Lock. Amengo said the chief has the right because it is within her jurisdiction. Bibi said the reign of the chief will soon be over. Employees of local car dealership in Ndongo Toyota handed over a petition to its management highlighting their dissatisfaction with certain issues within the company that they want addressed. Jennifer said the company dismissed her for being absent for 1 day. Nita said it is good that the company's dealings are made known. Long said they could have raised their concerns without involving racism. Otto said this is not good at all. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today and One.
From Cape to Cairo, Accra to Antananarivo, there are millions of people just like you trying to make a living to make money. And there's no magic way to get rich quick, unless you're Aliko Dangote. You're not Aliko Dangote, are you? No? Well, perhaps we can help you get a little further along the way. With BBC reporters all over Africa, we find the stories, the successes, and the startups that will help you make the most of your money. This is Smart Money.
Love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments, and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better. A look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. Frontal cooling is expected in the west and Klaras region tomorrow. Very cold conditions will set in on Friday and Saturday in the west, south, central and eastern regions. A few light showers are expected over the far southern coastal areas and the southwest early Friday morning. A look at the Namibia interior. Partly cloudy and mild to warm in the Klaras and Zambezi region. Elsewhere sunny and mild to warm. Windy weather will prevail in the interior. The coast partly cloudy and mild to warm, and the wind moderate northwesterly to southwesterly.
And you beautiful, look like an angel. I like it when you call me Papa. Baby, I don't see any reason to lose you, cause God told me in my dream I should choose you. Come as I'm kidding, come and have him kenny loo. In good and bad times, I'm totally cool.
For you and pray for you, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part.
World News, the biggest African and international